The Buffalo Bills are underdogs going into the 2023 season?
What did you say?
I did say that. But with that being said, let's get to that intro.
This is VZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy, and yes, I said it. The Buffalo Bills looking like they're underdogs going into the 2023 season. At least that's what a lot of national media want you to believe. So yeah, man, it's funny. It's funny to me that all of a sudden the Buffalo Bills are being written off. They had their chance and they blew it, and the Buffalo Bills are going to sink like a ship, right? That's it. Let's just stop talking about the Buffalo Bills because they had their run, and you know what? It's over. Well, it's not over. If in fact the Buffalo Bills gotten better in the offseason, in my opinion. They added a lot of pieces, key pieces, that are going to help this team be even better going into the 2023 season. There are some question marks, of course, just like any NFL football team. There's always going to be a question mark or two, or three or four, depending on the team, entering that season. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Really, there's only one big question mark for me, and that's the wide receiver group for the Buffalo Bills. However, this wide receiver team, this wide receiver group, that is, can be a very good group if everyone does their job, if everyone can continue where they left off last season, or get better from last season. So you got guys like Trent Sherfield, who had a very good season last year with the Dolphins, nearly 500 yards receiving. Can he continue that with the Buffalo Bills? Right, I believe he can. He's a very underlooked wide receiver. I think he's a very good piece for the Buffalo Bills offense, and I think it's underlooked on what he did for the Dolphins last year, considering they had one of the best duo groups, wide receiver groups in the NFL with Hill and Waddle. And for him to almost get 500 yards receiving, that tells you a lot. Also, the fact that, they were shuffling quarterbacks all season. So, yeah, man, I'm excited to see what Sherfield can do with this offense. However, it is a question mark, and that's why I said this is a big question mark, because can he adapt with the new style of offense the Buffalo Bills have? Can he get used to Josh Allen? Can Josh Allen trust Sherfield? It's all a question mark, right? Then you got Gabe Davis, who didn't have the greatest year last year, though. I think he didn't have as bad as a year as many Bills Mafia fans want you to believe. I thought Gabe Davis actually had a decent year stat-wise. Now, his drop percentage was bad. He got hurt early, but he only missed, I think, 1 or 2 games. So, listen, he was playing hurt most of the season. He still got 50 yards receiving. That's not a bad year. If he can stay healthy, if he can work on his hands so his drop percentage isn't as bad as it was last year, we have a 1,000-yard receiver in Gabe Davis. I'm telling you guys that straight up. And he's on a contract year. He's going to want to make the best of it. So trust me when I tell you, it's very possible that Gabe Davis has over 1,000 yards receiving this year. And listen, man, I'll eat crow if he doesn't, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I truly believe this season, 2023, Gabe Davis will have 1,000 yards receiving. I do believe that. For many reasons. But like I said, the contract being one of them. The other is I feel like he is a receiver that has a lot of potential and just had a little bit of bad luck last year with the injury. And then, getting back on the field after the injury, I think was a little bit mental and physical with him. And I think that's what caused a lot of the drops, in my opinion. Then you got Stephon Diggs, who's yet to return, has yet to address the media or has come to OT. He was a no-show in OTAs. Now, I will say it's mandatory minicamp starting tomorrow, 13th through the 15th. It's mandatory, and they talked with Sean McDermott. Was it Sean McDermott or was it Brandon? I think it was Brandon Beane, actually. And Brandon Beane says he expects Stephon Diggs to be at camp. I really do hope so. I do, because this one is mandatory. If he doesn't show up, then it's going to cause a lot of talk, with Bills Mafia, with national media, and you don't want that. You just don't want that. So I really hope he does the right thing, shows up to camp. He's shown up every season to mandatory minicamp. I don't see why he would miss this one. And if he does, then there's a problem. There really is, because he's never done that before. So I expect him to show up, guys, so I wouldn't even, worry about that. Now, then you also got the addition of Dalton Kincaid, who's going to be our slot/tight end. He's going to be Josh's security blanket. And I know Bills Mafia is hyped up about the possibility, what he could do, right? The possibilities, right? But there's yet to be a breakout rookie tight end in the NFL in a long time. You could say Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts was the whole offense of the Atlanta Falcons, right? And that's just not the case with Dalton Kincaid. Kincaid is not going to be the whole offense for the Buffalo Bills. I'm not saying Kincaid's going to have a bad season at all. I'm just saying I wouldn't get so hyped up and think he's just going to be this 1,000-yard receiver for the Buffalo Bills his first year. I hope. Shoot, I would love that. I would love for him to even come close to that. But I just don't think it's a reality, and it's a lot of pressure to be put on a rookie tight end coming out, right? But who knows? I just need him to be a security blanket for Josh. I need him to be, part of the offense in the red zone, especially where we struggle. That's where we really need Kincaid this coming up season, right? Now, Dawson Knox. Can Dawson Knox continue where he left off in 2021? Because 2022, he had an off year, right? And was that his fault, or was that the fact that we used him mainly as a blocker to help out because our offensive line was so bad? Or was that was that Dorsey just not getting Knox more involved with the offense? I think it was a little bit of everything, right? I think Dorsey is a little bit to blame. I think the offensive line is a little bit to blame there. Player personnel, whatever you want to say. I think it was a little bit of combination of everything. It's why Dawson Knox kind of had a off year. And that's something that Bills Mafia is a little upset about, because we just got done paying Dawson Knox a big contract. So we need to see a better Dawson Knox in 2023. Then you got the other receiver that we just picked up from the Saints, Hardy. Now, Hardy is more of a speedster, more of a special teamers. He's probably going to be our punt return specialist. I don't see him doing a lot on offense this year. He is electrifying when he gets the ball. Yards after catch is amazing. But he has an injury history. With a crowded wide receiver room, how much playing time will he get? Who knows? Then you got Khalil Shakir. I have a lot of faith in Khalil Shakir. I think he could be our future slot receiver. He has good hands, good yak. But once again, he's going in year 2. How much how much snaps will he get? How much will he be involved with the offense? Will Sherfield take more or get more snaps than Shakir, it's very possible because he has the experience. But we'll see what happens in camp because Shakir is on this. This is his second season under Ken Dorsey with Josh Allen. Sherfield has yet to really, has yet to even practice really much with Josh Allen or go under Ken Dorsey's new system, right? Compared to what the Dolphins did. So we'll see what happens there. But that's that's the only part that has the big question mark. Is the wide receiver group. Now, obviously, you guys know I was big on trying to get DeAndre Hopkins here. I really wanted that to happen. Right now, listen, DeAndre's not signed, but the chances are growing slimmer and slimmer, day after day, because it just seems to me right now that DeAndre is wanting that bag. He wants to get paid, and I just don't think Buffalo is going to do that. I think Brandon Beane has an amount in his head that he wants to spend, or is willing to spend on DeAndre Hopkins, and I don't know if they're even close. And that's the problem. Will he have a visit to Buffalo? I mean, probably. I mean, they visited OBJ visited Buffalo last year, so I could definitely see a visit, unless he gets an unbelievable offer before that and just goes ahead and takes that offer. But we'll see. But I just, I want to tell you guys, I just don't see it happening. I hope it does, because that would really, really take that question mark and erase it, right? And then we would know, okay, we got our true number two, and then we can have Gabe really do his magic as the wide receiver number 3, which he really excelled in, in 2021. So we shall see. But like I said, guys, if not, I'm not super worried. It's just there is a question there if everyone could do their job or left off where they did last season or get better from what they did last season. And we'll see how that goes. So that's the only question mark. And then obviously offensive line. Listen, the offensive line definitely improved, 100%. But it's an improvement. It's not. It's still a thing in it's still a progress, right? Like, I don't think it's done yet, right? So here's the deal. Brandon Beane each year has put Band-Aids on this offense, right? And I don't think that it's complete yet, right? And by putting Band-Aids on it, sometimes they just don't work out, right? So last year was Saffold, right? And on paper, it seemed like what a great pickup. But Saffold was a huge disappointment, guys. Huge disappointment. And then you had Spencer Brown coming off back surgery and didn't really get to work with Cromer, who was our new offensive line coach, who's, by the way, is a great offensive line coach. But he didn't really have time to work with Cromer. He didn't have any time in camp. Game 1, boom, he was there, right? Week 1. And I just kind of felt like he was rusty all year. And listen, Spencer Brown still there's still a lot of work to be done there, right? So we'll see what happens this year. Now that Spencer Brown is healthy, now that Spencer Brown can work along with Cromer, how can that work out like for Spencer Brown entering this 2023 season? I personally think that Spencer Brown could be a really good right tackle. We shall see. Okay. Now, Brandon Beane went ahead and got Brandon Shell to compete at right tackle, but I still think that Spencer Brown will win that job because of all the faith they have. And he's their draft pick. He's their guy. But it's good to have a veteran right tackle there just in case it doesn't work out or if Spencer Brown gets hurt again. Brandon Shell had an excellent season last year for the Miami Dolphins at right tackle. So that was a very good pickup. But once again, it's 1 year, guys. So these are just kind of Band-Aids until they draft the right guy, right? So if Spencer Brown doesn't work out at right tackle, we'll see how Brandon Shell fills in. If he fills in great, then maybe they give him an extension. Maybe there's your future right tackle. If not, then they have to go back to the drawing board and draft a right tackle. Or maybe get lucky in free agency and pick one up. Then you got McGovern at left guard. Now, McGovern is an interesting one because I thought in Dallas he had his ups and downs. It's a 3-year deal, but I think I think it really is like a 2-year deal, so they can get out of it after 2. We'll see how McGovern works out. Like I said, once again, up and down with Dallas. Then you have Mitch Morse. Mitch Morse right now is not what he used to be, guys. He's in the middle of the pack as far as centers go. And he's on what, a 6th concussion, right? So, I worry about Mitch Morse. I worry about the concussion. If he gets hurt again, gets another concussion, then we got to start sliding people around, right? Then you got to put Ryan Bates potentially at center. And that's another guy I want to talk about, Ryan Bates. So Ryan Bates is right now competing with Osiris Torrance at right guard. There's no way in hell that Osiris Torrance won't win that job. I would be shocked if Ryan Bates is our starting right guard week 1. I just would be shocked. Osiris Torrance was such a dominating right guard in college. Gave up 0 sacks. He was a hell of a run blocker, one of the best to do it. And I just can't see him losing to Ryan Bates. Ryan Bates is a good player, no doubt. Can play any position. But he's better at left guard than right guard. That's 1. 2, he's not great at any of those positions. I think he's good, right? He's good left guard. He's a good center, right? He could play any, but I think Osiris Torrance could be great, right? Especially, when he gets with Cromer and Cromer teaches him new stuff, gets to work with him a little bit more on pass coverage, pass blocking, because he's more of a run blocker than a pass blocker. But you guys see, if he gives up 0 sacks, he clearly can pass block as well. Probably just needs a little bit of work with his footwork and all that stuff, which Cromer can do. So those are really the only kind of question marks that I have going into the season. I kind of felt like, listen, the Bills addressed defense as well. They went ahead and got Leonard Floyd, who was a sneaky pickup as well. So you all know that Von Miller came out this weekend actually, and said that he is completely healed from his ACL surgery. He personally thinks he will play week 1. I keep telling you guys though, don't take that for, don't take that as solid, like, oh, for sure, because he said it. It's gold, baby. Like, no, like, Von Miller has said a lot of things, and he's a positive guy, and I love that. But I want it, like I said, man, don't take that as gold, man. Like, I enjoy that about him. I love that he's positive, but right now, guys, they went out and got Leonard Floyd for a reason. I have a feeling that Leonard Floyd will take over Von Miller's spot while Von's resting or getting his way back into playing shape again or completely healed from the ACL surgery. I have a feeling that he will be on the PUP list. Now, I'll tell you what, if he's not, hey, great. Leonard Floyd could still be a total beast as a rotational guy, and situational, as far on defense. So still unbelievable pickup. 1 year, but hey, that's great. We'll take it. We can always extend them somehow during the season or off season. We'll see what happens when it comes to that. Then they got Poona Ford, Poona Ford's a great DT, man. Seattle fans were very upset that he left, right? That Seattle didn't re-sign him. Great addition. He could have went somewhere else for more money. Love that addition. So we did a lot of things too on defense that made this defense better, right? Then you got Trey White, who's coming back. Obviously last year he came back late in the season from his ACL surgery. He wasn't the same Trey White, right? He wasn't completely mentally or physically 100%. I feel like going into this upcoming season, he is going to be 100% back to Trey White. Will he be the Trey of old? We'll see. Then you got Kaiir Elam coming back, right? Year 2 now, right? Second year. He should be even better, right? Then you got Benford, who looked like he could be potential starting corner as well. He got injured last year. I think he can have a bounce back second season as well. Then you got Jordan Poyer, who re-signed with the Buffalo Bills. Can't believe he got it done. He did. He's back. Micah Hyde coming back from injury. He was a huge, listen, it was huge when we lost him. That was terrible, right? That was a huge loss for the Buffalo Bills when we lost Micah Hyde. Now that he's coming back from his surgery, total difference maker on defense is Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer when they're back together, right? When they're on the field together. So those two guys, man, having them back is unbelievable for the Buffalo Bills coming into the 2023 season. So now all the critics, all these national media want to count out the Buffalo Bills. Now there are some that still say the Buffalo Bills are kings of the AFC East until someone knocks us off, right? And I say the same thing, right? But a lot of these national media, boy, they are all on the Jets. They're all on the Dolphins. They're all even loving the Patriots. So I don't know why, right? Listen, man, you gotta prove it. You gotta go out there and you gotta show us you can knock the top dog off. And right now, the Buffalo Bills are still ascending, right? Josh Allen is in his prime. Stephon Diggs is still in his prime. You got some young talent here in Buffalo. That's only getting better. By the way, I think James Cook is also going to have a good second year. So listen, those guys, they could talk all they want about how the Jets improve, Aaron Rodgers, all that stuff, but you got to knock the top dog off. You got to prove it, right? It's all good on paper, but until you enter that season, until you actually do it, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. And we know that. The Patriots were the AFC East Kings for a long time, leader of the AFC, until they got knocked off. And who knocked them off? The Buffalo Bills. And who has won 3 in a row AFC East championships? The Buffalo Bills. Right? Last year, we were 13-3. We lost to the Jets once, we lost to the Dolphins once, and we lost to Minnesota. That was it. That was it. The Jets, what? What did the Jets finish? Almost last? Right? I know they improved a little bit. They got Aaron Rodgers. Okay, but Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, is already having calf injuries, and those are OTAs. He hasn't even started camp. And I'm not saying that, oh my God, be concerned about Aaron Rodgers' health, but he is getting older, right? He is on a much younger team, right? You all know Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers gets very frustrated with younger players, right? That's why he likes the Cobbs, the veteran players, right? He also is working with a younger coach, right? Are they going to see eye to eye? There's a lot that can go bad with the Jets with this Aaron Rodgers experience. You guys see what happened with over in Denver, right? When Russell Wilson went there, didn't work out too great, right? So listen, you got to do it first. Looks great on paper, but don't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing if you can't execute, right? And same with the Dolphins, right? They got a huge question mark, right? Tua, right? Can he even stay healthy a complete season? He has yet to do that. I don't think he can. And I think they know that. And I think that's why they're out there still looking for quarterbacks. So I don't. And then you got the Patriots, Mac Jones. Is Mac Jones really the answer in New England? No. Come on, let's be real here. Even New England Patriots fans cannot say that Mac Jones is the answer in New England at quarterback. There's no way. So I can't see it happening. I still think the Buffalo Bills are top dog. But you know what? Hey, let us be underdogs. I love it, man. I'd rather be underdogs than what we were last year when everyone was loving us and everyone's picking us to win the Super Bowl. And you saw what happened, right? A lot of pressure. A lot of things happened bad that was not, was out of our control, right? As Bills fans, as players, a lot of bad things happen, off season, in season, injuries. Like, I get, it's the way the season goes sometimes with injuries, right? But we just had to share bad luck, right? Snowstorm. It just was not meant to be. So I'd rather this season we go in as underdogs, nice and quiet. You don't need to talk about us. Let us do our thing and handle our business, man. And I really, truly believe this still is a Super Bowl team. I don't care what anyone says. You got to knock us off first if you want to claim that title of the AFC East right now. Our vision is the AFC. All right. All these other teams like the Jets, the Dolphins, the Patriots, their vision is the East. Our vision is past that now. We need to get to the Super Bowl. We have to. So, guys, man, that's where I'm looking at, man. It's a Super Bowl now, man. We're past the AFC East, man. We've already accomplished that. We know we can accomplish that. Now it's time to figure out how we can win the AFC and get to that Super Bowl and win that Super Bowl. Guys, Bills Mafia, I love you. As always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.